Alright, hello everyone and welcome to Zelda Speedruns. Today we have a Link to the Past Randomizer Challenge Cup match between WGarrison and Kaede Rukawa. On commentary today we have Dane and the Swedish Arctic Fox. How are the two of you doing?
We are great. This is going to be an awesome matchup. Match game number 2. Garrison took the first game by 3 minutes, I think. So this is going to be a really interesting game.
Yep, we're in round 3 of the Challenge Cup here, which is corresponds to top 32 since we had some play-in games to get into the top 64 here in the Challenge Cup. So if you've been watching the main tournament, this is a little bit different because it's got no hard item pool. It's just going to be standard with the normal item pool, so we'll get silvers and butter sword. So yeah, we're going to go right off. Swedish Foxo, what do you think will be our item today?
Well, I guess chat is always hoping for... yeah, there was the bombs. So hoping for bombs, maybe. That's always interesting to see how they are doing with a bomb escape.
Yep, and we see our map check here with green pendant on Tower of Hera with 2 regular crystals on Desert and Eastern. And yeah, it's kind of... I really hope they don't get bombs, because you really don't like to get bombs when you get the bombs in that chest, because you're pretty happy when you get those 3 bombs in the Link's house, because you're like, oh, I don't have to worry about getting bombs. But then if your uncle gives you bombs, it's like, okay, now you literally just gave me 7 bombs instead of 10. So we'll see what he gets today. We're getting the bow today.
Yeah, and Eastern is a crystal, so I'm guessing it's going to be a really early Eastern clear here.
Yep, that's one of the main things that the bow gives you, is it just lets you go over to Eastern really whenever you want. And there's another set of bombs. So we are set, absolutely no more concern about farming bombs here in the escape sequence.
Yeah, and the fun part is that we have the guards that also drops bombs. So we have access to a lot of bombs if we want to.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely, with the guards dropping bombs, they'll probably get all the way up to 10 for Kakariko. So this is just about as many bombs as you can get.
Yeah, nice not to have to worry about that. So now it's just a fast, hopefully quick here escape. And then I'm guessing both runners are going to CAC, but with that early bow and Crystal Eastern, we never know. Maybe we can see a diversion early on here.
Yeah, there's definitely been picking up a bit of popularity lately if you have other options other than Kakariko, because sometimes you might want to think, okay, maybe I'll get my Titan's Mitts and Moon Pearl if I do South Shore and Eastern first, and then I can just go over into Village Valcast, or maybe you'll find the flute and can activate the flute on the first try, or maybe you get a bottle and you can do Sick Kid on the first try. Now, obviously, there's the converse where maybe the boots are in Kakariko, and you could have gone a lot faster on your other checks, but it's a decision the runners can make.
Yeah, and Garrison is leading by 1, so Kaede maybe are trying to do something different just to get ahead here early on.
Yep, and that bow showing its worth here. It's one of the best things about the bow is that you can just kill the enemies very quickly and at range. So it's one of the easiest of escapes to perform. So that'll be nice for these runners when they're going as fast as they are with the bombs they have.
Yeah, it's definitely easy and fast, and not having to farm for bombs. This is gonna be, I'm guessing, a sub 6 escape here. And also, just see the mirror there.
Yeah,
both mirroring out there. That was good use.
Yeah, you'll love to get the mirror in the first 3 chests of the escape sequence because you get to do what we just saw here from WGarrison and Kaede Rukawa, because you can just go back to the front.
Yeah, and having an early mirror also, it's really nice for routing. You can route the dungeons really fast, and you can do a lot of mirror checks when you get to Dark World. I mean, an early, maybe early access to Dark World is gonna be really good for the runners, just so they can do a lot of double checks in both Dark and Light World.
Absolutely. That mirror is so convenient to get early just for the exact reasons you mentioned. It also will give us access to Tower of Hera when we get up to the mountain, which is our green pendant. So if we see a glove show up quickly, you may see the runners want to go up there because you can sometimes, with Tower of Hera, if you get the equipment to beat it, you could get that green pendant pretty quickly and then turn it on your first way to Eastern. But that really depends on what item sets we get going forward.
Yeah, but that's definitely an interesting play, doing all that at once. But something nice will also have to be if you have the hammer or hook shot, just to check that the right side of the mountain as well when you go up there.
Yes, for sure. It really is going to depend on what items we get. We see a sword there, which again, that will help with that your early Eastern dip, because without the lamp, Eastern Palace's Dark Room, especially that one with the Igor, can be a bit tricky, but the sword really mitigates some of the issues involved with that.
Yeah, I'm guessing the runners are really happy to see that. Like you said, it's a bit tricky in the back there.
And we're going to need at least 2 of those to beat the game today.
Yeah, and we see a sub 5 here from both runners of Escape. Really a nice job from both of them.
Yeah, I mean, short of getting the boots in one of those early chests, that's about as good of an escape you can get. You didn't have to worry about farming bombs. You got the mirror in Zelda's cell, so you get to go really fast.
Yeah, and we see both runners are going to CAC here. Wondering if we're gonna see any one of them checking Lumberjack here.
Looks like Kaede is going to go check the Lumberjack, but Garrison is not.
Yeah, a lot of runners like to do that when you get the boots, but it can also be interesting to do this early on, to have that knowledge.
Yeah, you'll also see this a lot when runners are low on bombs, because they get an extra try at the tree pole and the bush crab. If either of those are bombs, maybe you can get enough bombs for Kakariko, though both these runners are doing fine on bombs. Just seeing a heart container up there, so we're not going to need to get that.
Yeah, we don't have to do Aga for that sake. And the blue boomerang. So nothing too special here, but we're gonna get a lot of items here in Kakariko, so hopefully I'm hoping for Dark World access early. Then this seed is gonna be a lot of divergence, I think.
Yeah, if you see Dark World access early, depending on if Pod's a pendant, you might see a really early Palace of Darkness and Eastern combo, say if you got access through the hammer, because we already have our mirror and our bow.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be interesting to see where we got here down in the basement. These runners are playing for a spot in that top 16. Oh, we got the fire rod and the glove there.
Yeah, that's really nice to get that glove. Also, that fire rod will put most of Eastern Palace in Logica now, because before the Eastern Palace big key chest requires the lamp to get to, but the Igor room, since there's torches in there, you can get to with the fire rod.
Yeah, that's definitely a nice item to have there. With fire rod, it can also potentially be that we do an early... Oh, and the hammer!
Yeah, that's really nice. Now we're just loading on our Moon Pearl. We could get our early Dark World access. There's the flute, too, so we just got a lot of good stuff. We got a lot of stuff open to us now.
Come on, be the Moon Pearl. I'm guessing Moon Pearl on a bottle vendor here.
Yeah, I hope so. Side of Death Mountain as well, with that flute plus hammer and mirror.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, this seed really turned interesting early on here.
Yeah, so with this loadout, I would not be surprised to see these runners put off Eastern Palace for a while, because now, once they get the Moon Pearl, they can do Palace of Darkness and Eastern Palace together. Now, we don't know if Palace of Darkness is a pendant or not, though it's probably about 2/3 chance it is a crystal, because there's 2 crystals in the Dark World.
Yeah.
Or 2 pendants, sorry.
But I'm guessing that the runners are gonna be a little bit stressed here, because when you have too many options, you're always thinking about, oh, am I doing the right strat here? What are the other guys doing? Yeah, so it's gonna be a bit stressful here in the beginning for them, I'm guessing.
Yeah, absolutely, because right now they're at the point where neither of them have checked South Shore, but they're only a flippers away from being able to get into Swamp Palace. Now, granted, you probably don't want to go in there with the hook shot, without the hook shot, but like, depending on which route you choose to go with, as many options as these runners have, can really make your route either easy or hard. Well, yeah, they need the Moon Pearl to get into the Dark World as well. Chad Point keeping us honest.
Yeah, library has just a piece of heart. Are we going in blind here? Nope. And $50. So where could that Moon Pearl be?
Looks like Garrison's going to just do the standard route, go clear out these South Shore checks, and then decide whether to do the Mountain or Eastern Palace or what next.
Well, with that flute, this is really nice routing just to go and check everything. It's a lot of quick checks.
Yeah, and I think that so I was mentioning it earlier with Tower of Hera, potentially wanting to do that before Eastern, because now with the items they have, they can full clear Tower of Hera for sure. They have a fire source, they have a weapon to defeat Moldorm, and they can get up there with the mirror and the flute. So I would not be surprised to see the runners elect to go up to the mountain, because we also have East Death Mountain as well. So there's just a lot of checks up there that you could do before going into Eastern Palace. But we'll see what these runners decide. So far, both of them have decided the South Shore is the good first play.
Yeah, we still see the same routing from both players here. But I'm guessing they may be also just waiting for that Mitz before going up to the mountain and just full clear the whole thing. Well, Mitz and Moon Pearl, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of really hard to choose where to go because you're kind of one or two items away from being able to combo a lot of checks in whichever location you choose. So you gotta kind of pick your poison. Which one do you want to do now?
We see Garrison turning in that bottle just to see what Sickhead has for us. Master Sword.
Yeah, runner's probably not going to be thinking about Aghanim at this point with that Master Sword. Probably just a nice Master Sword because Aghanim would have to be the Moon Pearl on Pyramid Ledge or something leading to the Moon Pearl on Pyramid Ledge at this point. So normally you're a bit scared getting the Master Sword early, but I think in this case the runners are both okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting to see both these runners elect to do the same thing, just go right to turn and Sick Kid before doing anything else, and it's definitely going to pay off having that Master Sword earlier.
Yeah, it's fun to see that both runners are still following each other's footstep here, and also to Eastern area as well.
Yeah, because this is not an obvious play for either of them. The Mountain has a lot of checks, and they might be able to combo in Palace of Darkness and Eastern Palace later, but deciding to do this now, getting the Ice Rod in the back of Sahasab and the Quake Medallion, so we will likely need at least one of those medallions, and maybe the Ice Rod. We don't know. It could be both Meyer and Turtle Rock pendants, but that's not very likely.
Yeah, we just have to wait and see. We see Kaede getting into Eastern first, and then jumping down.
Yep, electing to do Saha's Closet. I think that makes a lot of sense when if you're already committing to full clearing Eastern here, because nothing you're going to get. I mean, you could save a little bit of time with the hook shot or the lamp in Eastern, but most likely whatever items in Saha's Hut is not going to help you on your Eastern clear.
Yeah, I like doing this early, and the runners may be hoping for a crystal in pod as well, and then if they have done like Hera, they can turn in that green pendant with the mirror and everything.
And we saw our first item already in Eastern Palace, just being that green rupee, so not going to need that one.
And it's interesting, the chat are pointing out here that if you see an early Ice Rod as this, usually Turtle Rock is gonna be a pendant.
Yeah, it just seems like it happens so much. And we also have the early Fire Rod too, so we only would need maybe Quake Medallion even gets you into Turtle Rock. That would just be a little bit mean. It's only the Cane of Samaria to actually get in there, but yeah, normally when you start seeing those rods early, you're like, oh darn, TR's a pendant.
Yeah. And it's a long way up there, so it's always a hard play if you're gonna do that or not when you have the possibility.
Yeah, and this really becomes a lot of times it really just comes down to when did you do your mountain stuff. Because if you just only cleared out the Light World Death Mountain, then if you have your hook shot, you can do 6 other checks on Dark Death Mountain along with it. So then it's not Yeah, it was risky, but if you've already cleared out those, then yeah, it's really like you have to hard commit to go back up there.
Yeah. And we see that Eastern has nothing. The first 3 chests were items, so actually Eastern is out of logic here.
Yep, because we need the lamp to get to this vanilla big key chest. If the big key had been anywhere else, we would be able to go through that Igor room to the boss and have that be in logic. But as you're mentioning, this particular set of dark rooms requires the lamp.
Some runners like to skip out on this chest when it's not a big key. So I'm guessing both runners are a bit glad that they don't have to make that decision today.
Yep, you always wonder if your opponent just got to steal a free minute by just risking that chest and having the last item be on the boss. But the one thing that both these runners may be concerned about is because with this loadout, you're always thinking about, okay, my opponent could have comboed this in with Palace of Darkness later, and seeing 3 junk items in here, you realize that you didn't really gain anything by doing it early. Though we know that both of them made the same decision, so it's not really going to affect either of them.
Yeah. And it's not checking that big chest because we have all the 3 items in here.
Yep, good little awareness to save a few seconds.
The mountain play after this is not a hard guess here, I'm guessing.
Yeah, because at this point we've got Agina is in logic, Zora is also in logic, just Zora, not the rest of the checks. But then, yeah, the mountain has so many checks.
Yeah. We see Garrison don't have any magic for this room, so I have to do it in the dark. But it seems to be no problem for him there.
We get to see it setting up this quick kill here.
Yeah, it was few shots there on the last guy.
Yeah, but overall, still a pretty solid fight. So again, to get Kaede to be able to collect his first crystal, and Garrison is going to be following right after.
Yeah, they are really even here. The only big thing is that Kaede had checked Lumberjack.
Yep, and Kaede is gonna clean up these checks that Garrison already got. So they're going to be right on very similar footing. We'll see where they both will like to go.
Yeah, are we seeing a flute to 1 for both runners, or are they checking Desert perhaps? Just going for Agina. Nope. Both are going up.
Yep, and step for step with both these runners, really, like you mentioned, the only difference so far is that they've one runner did running lumberjack and the other didn't. And it's not like they're doing like the standard give me automatic route. Like they both elected to do Sick Kid right away. They both elected to skip Ice Rod Cave. So they're just all making the same decisions.
It looks more like a NMG speedrun where the runners are following each other's footsteps instead of a rando.
So we got to expect Moon Pearl probably going to show up here, but we could also get something else too.
Yeah, it can also be a lot of other interesting stuff. Maybe a book to lead us to desert.
And there's our Moon Pearl.
So Dark World access only 20 minutes into the sea there.
Yeah, already gotten a crystal, gonna get your Dark World access in under 20 minutes. So pretty nice start. And we'll see. The runners could elect to leave, though I think that with having the hammer only as your access to ETH Dark World, I think you'll see them go there. And we're seeing another map check. We got our red crystals on Turtle Rock and Pod, and our pendants are Swamp and Skullwoods.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it was a crystal in Turtle Rock then.
Yep, nice to see that when you've already got your ice rod.
And with Dark World access, I'm guessing we're gonna see some divergence soon.
Yeah, because they can full clear both Thieves' Town and Palace of Darkness in the Dark World, so the runners could elect to do that in either order. So yeah. You see the Arcane of Burna down there, which is actually notable at this point because that puts Spike Cave into logic now.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah, and when you come up to the mountain like they have, and you go from the mountain, from the mirror with the hammer to the east, you really are going to leave behind one of Spiral or Spike Cave, just because it's kind of a pain to walk all the way back over there. Though maybe you can still come back, it's just a little bit longer, versus if you came up here and could hookshot over, then you would be able to do both easier.
Yeah. And wow, they are so synced up right now. So
yeah, it's really been.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's really been just a whole synced up whole race. And we see Kaede electing to get that red rupee, they're both very close to Zora money as well. Mm-hmm. So want to pick up some rupees.
Yeah, so do you think we're gonna see something more interesting here on the mountain?
No, I think we're just gonna see them clear out Paradox Cave. If they get something else like the Titan's Mitts, then you might see some interesting. I guess the most interesting would be Titan's Mitts and a Cane of Samaria, and then having Quake Medallion open Turtle Rock, because then you could see a very early Turtle Rock dip, but that's kind of unlikely that you'll get both those items.
Yeah, wow. And tempered.
Yep, it's 20 minutes in, already got your Tempered Sword, which is really nice because the increase in power between Master Sword and Tempered Sword is really noticeable. It makes a lot of the bosses that are kind of difficult with Master Sword much easier, like Mothula or Cold Stare, once you have that Tempered Sword.
Yeah. And we see Kaede has Sora money now as well.
And nothing up here in Paradox Cave. Kaede gonna elect to leave here, not worry about Spike Cave, because you can basically get at the same speed, saving and quitting later. We'll see where these runners like to go. Go to Mountain Cave because you can flute out of there, but see if they both go to the same place again. And looks like probably not, because you're probably going to see Garrison go down to Hype Cave, and looks like Kaede is going to Village of Outcasts.
Wow, I like this.
Yeah, but it really makes a lot of sense both ways, because you got a bunch of items and a full clearable crystal, no matter which way you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Just nice with like the side chat are saying, first divergence here. And what play is gonna give the most here?
Yeah, we'll see if Hype Cave is going to be hype or a bust. There's a Titan's Myth, so that's looking like a good Hype Cave already. And the book, which isn't actually as important with regards to desert access, because actually the Titan's Myths already let us get into desert with our flute and our mirror, but it does give us those tablets, which are nice because we haven't really... I guess the Ether tablet's kind of annoying because it'll be a while till we're back up there, but at least the Bombos tablet, when we're in the area, we'll be able to get that.
Yeah, and nice when he gets to perhaps Skull Woods and maybe trying to full clear it. He can also just mirror and check it, so it could be interesting to see what's gonna be on pad today.
Yeah, we'll really see. You're already seeing, because Skullwood's a pendant, so depending on what items Garrison gets on his route, he may not go up to Skullwoods, but we're seeing a Kaede will like to go right in there just to kind of clear out the front, maybe. Didn't get an item there, just got a key.
Yeah, a lot of runners like to see it as overworld checks, just doing those two and then go to Bumper Cave to see that item down to Thieves Town.
Yeah, and I wonder if Garrison's going to follow up to that Village of Outcasts area as now having that Titan's Mitts, because he's electing to do these south of Village of Outcasts checks rather than go up to Pod.
Yeah, right. And Pod is one of the red crystals, so and they can full clear it at this point.
Yeah, the Pyramid Fairy itself is not looking very likely to be useful this seed, because the only thing that we could get there that's going to be hard required, I guess, would be we could get the boots, the hookshot, or the Misery Mire entry medallion, because we everything else we either have or is locked behind the red crystals. A lot of times when Turtle Rock is a red crystal, it just kind of makes the Pyramid Fairy check less likely to pay out, but less likely doesn't mean never.
Yeah, flippers, like the chat was saying also, but we don't really need them this seed.
Yep, we can skip those flipper requirements with a nice Flake Flipper into Swamp and Ice Palace. And yeah, looks like Garrison's going to continue up from those southern Dark World checks and go do this Smith Chain. A bit annoying to do this without the boots, but makes a lot of sense with his route to do this Hammer Pegs now. And Kaede is going to go over to check that Graveyard Ledge, and there are those flippers right there.
Yeah, talking about flippers.
Yeah, and I personally wouldn't be happy to see those flippers this early, because we have Pendant Swamp. So generally, you just like those flippers to be really far away, so you never have to be tempted to go into Pendant Swamp. But now you can get in, so that's always going to be on your mind now.
Yeah, but there are 6 potential items in there, so it could be interesting to see what it gets in there. It usually holds the mist, but this time we know the myths are in Hype Cave.
Yeah, Swamp Palace, known for having gloves and swords, but we're not going to need either of those today, having already gotten 3 swords and 2 gloves. All right, so we'll finally get to check these regular Village of Outcasts checks. And look like Garrison electing not to do the purple chest at this time. Probably going to save it until either just Magic Bat or just do it later, because you're already done a lot of those checks and want to just clear out Village of Outcasts and Thieves Town instead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with this early hammer and Thieves Town being a crystal and all, I'm guessing both runners know that this part is going to be cleared, so they won't lose any time. Or gain any time here.
Yeah, that's the one thing about Thieves Town, is you just basically, if it's a crystal, you just basically beat it as quickly as you can, because you don't get, you never worry about go moding Thieves Town, because go mode Thieves Town saves about 15 seconds at best, so you never want to even worry about that.
Yeah.
So Garrison will give us our first look at what we've got in Thieves Town. But Village of Outcasts itself really didn't come up with anything other than those flippers over in Hammer Pegs.
Did we find any items up in Skullwoods?
I did not check. Definitely didn't get a notable item, but I don't know if they got just like rupees or something.
Skullwood was dead, our tracker says. Did he find both items? Ten arrows and something else. Okay, so nothing in Skullwoods.
Yeah, so we'll see if Garrison even elects to go up there, because he's still got a bunch of other checks that might be more interesting, like Palace of Darkness.
Yeah.
Before going over there. Because at this point, I mean, we've got the whole Zora area, we've got Palace of Darkness, we've got potentially Swamp Palace. We actually have Ice Palace as well, though normally runners will want to put that off till they get the Cane of Samaria to save the time.
Yeah, I save a lot of time, but when you have that late Cane of Samaria, it's usually just in that chest on top where you do the Icebreaker.
Yeah, I think if you clear out Palace of Darkness and your other quick overroll checks, that becomes more appealing. But the runners, they actually have a lot open because you can even go over to the Misery Mire area, clear out desert, check to see what the Misery Mire medallion is. Probably don't want to go in there without the cane, but you can at least know what you need to do. And getting an unfortunate mirror there.
No.
Quick swap claims a victim.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't like on the top of Thieves Town at least. I mean, the worst room you can die in is on top where you have the bombable floor there.
Yep.
Or like, yeah, mirror.
Yeah, I don't even know if mirroring, even if you bomb I don't know if the floor stays bombed if you mirror out. I think it probably does.
Yeah, I think so too. Actually, if the whole if the bomb went off completely.
Because most dungeons reset, but I think that this could run if you like had blind and mirrored. I think that they don't want you to refill the hole.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we haven't found anything yet in Thieves Town, and then the runners again, they're gonna have another decision where to go next, really, because there's just so much available at this time. At least for Garrison having those Titans, without Kaede not having the Titans, doesn't have quite as many options, so we'll probably see him go over to Hype Cave and Pod next.
Yeah, that could be really good routing as well. Gonna miss out on those flipper though.
Yeah, because you'll probably just do like Shovel Game and K45 and Stumpy and stuff, not do just to go over to get the Titans and come back.
No, I'm guessing it's gonna be over to Pod after that. Perhaps shaking Pyramid and Catfish. That could be a big play that Kaede needs to win this.
Yeah, and who knows, with the way the flippers are not required, so those flippers could end up just being bait to trick you into doing some flipper checks like Swamp Palace or the Hobo that just don't have anything. They could also be required, so it's kind of, we'll have to wait and see if the early flippers for Garrison are going to be helpful or hurtful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we haven't found anything really interesting here in Thieves Town. I don't know if Blind has an item.
Yeah, I think it's a 50-50 at this point between this big chest and Blind. All right, so Kaede is going to show us off the Blind fight, which the nice thing about this fight is that if you do the same thing every time, Blind will also do the same thing every time. So if you just practice this fight, then you can get it down to a nice little script and get a nice quick kill like he was able to get there.
Yeah, really nice fight. And the last item was a piece of heart only, so yeah, Thieves Town and Village of Outcast didn't have anything for us today.
Yeah, really not much. So yeah, I think you'll see Kaede probably going to walk south of here to get those south checks knocked out that Garrison did earlier. Garrison could elect to go north like Kaede did, but I think he's got better options. I think either going to Mire area or Pod would be a bit nicer in terms of you get either a Crystal Dungeon with Pod or a bunch of really quick checks with Desert and Mire. And also you can figure out if Desert's boots locked, figure out what Mire medallion you need so you can kind of keep your checklist of what items you need to beat this game more up to date.
Yeah, I really like to, if you have both the mirror, flute and mitts, it's always really nice to go to Mire area just to get the checks out.
Absolutely. Those Mire area checks are pretty nice and quick, and they give you some information. But also doing Pod, it's also always a good play because you're probably not going to get to go mode Palace of Darkness, at least on a reasonable route to seed, unless like some area is stacked and you get all the items you need really quickly. But so you can always just get your crystal now, and who knows, maybe you'll get an item in here that will change your mind as to what the next best play is.
Yeah, I'm guessing perhaps the lamp could be here.
Yeah, that's a good point. Without the lamp, some of this Palace of Darkness will be out of logic, but with the Fire Rod, it's not going to be too bad, especially with how many hearts these runners have.
It could also be really interesting to see if he gets the hook shot here, because then he maybe get tempted to go into swamp.
Yeah, I think the hook shot would tempt you. First, you would do the Dark Death Mountain, but yes, definitely hook shot would also bring the swamp temptation, because it would also give us the hook shot cave, which makes Dark Death Mountain's only it's 2 items in Super Bunny, plus we've got Spike Cave and Ether Tablet, which are kind of far away from the Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah. And not bow locked.
Yep, we had the bow at the very first item, so not gonna. You always like to is the curiosity know if it's bow locked or not, but not gonna affect our runners to see.
Yeah, because that's also an item you can't skip out of.
Yep, and Kaede able to get his Titan's Mitts. We'll see if he likes to follow the footsteps of Garrison and go over to Pod, or he could mirroring flute away to somewhere else.
I'm hoping to see a check-in Meyer. It would be really interesting to see what we need there.
Looks like we're going to see a mirror here, so he could be fluting to 5 still, but We'll see. Nope, going to give us our first look at this desert area. So yeah, this is definitely, I always like to see this because then you get to know what items you need to beat this game, because you still might need boots or another medallion depending on what you find here. Ooh, but yeah, a bit unfortunate. We do have that fairy though, so it's just a time loss and a safety loss, but a bit unfortunate there.
Yeah, those birds are a bit, bit dangerous. Oh,
see that Quake medallion?
Yeah, so we have access. Well, I don't have hookshot or boots still.
Yeah, so you always like it when you're not tempted to dip caneless, and yeah, without that hook shot or the boots, you're gonna not be able to go. You'll be able to open that up, but you'll have to stare longingly at that gap. And there's another medallion for us.
Wow, nice. Now we're gonna see if desert's gonna be boots locked. Kaede getting some nice information here.
And it is not.
Yeah, so that we can full clear desert as well.
And meanwhile, Garrison making his way into the back of Pod, where most of the items are going to be. I did not catch which, if any, items were in the front, but nothing of note at this point.
Not using that fire rod.
Getting half magic, always a nice safety to have.
Mm-hmm.
And the bug net, another safety that can sometimes be nice to catch some fairies. Gonna elect to skip that harmless hallway, because when you come out of there with 2 keys like he did, you know that it has to be key for a key, so we'll just leave that chest unopened.
Yeah, and we're gonna see the dark maze. One of the harder rooms to learn in the beginning, but when you got it, you know the route, and like we see Garrison doing a nice job here.
Yeah, one useful thing to get through this room is you can get to that first chest holding up left a lot, and then down right can get you to this other one most of the way. So if you alternate between some diagonals, it can really help get through this maze.
I mean, I haven't found anything really interesting in Pod, I think.
Nope, just a couple of safeties. But yeah, I think Helmasaur may have... No, I think we've seen 5 items if there was another item in Dark Maze. We got the big key, we got 2 items in the basement, and then we got 1 in the front, and then that one.
Chat are thinking that something is gonna be on Helma. Well, we just have to wait and see, I guess. But Landmolus is definitely gonna have an item here. I think it was only on the torch there was an item.
Yep, and if map was in Professor Pixie in chat pointing out map was in Dark Maze, so therefore there definitely is an item on Helma.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so Kaede has the fire rod here for this land mollusk fight, which makes it really nice. Getting a really quick one cycle there. Very nice fight. And there's Arcana Samaria. That's a big item.
That's really big.
Can't use it for Misery Mire yet, but Ice Palace is a lot easier now with that. Maybe even Turtle Rock if it's not Ether Medallion. So very nice. So now we're really just, our go mode is pretty close at this point. We're just going to need either the hook shot or the boots, and then the hook shot for crossing that Moldorm gap at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't know the medallion yet for Turtle Rock, but
yeah, that's a good point.
We still have a lot of things.
Yeah, so I think at this point, if you're in Kaede's position, you just rush crystals, and it's that lamp, which is nice to have. Not gonna have to worry about Dark Rooms and Misery Mire or Turtle Rock with that, and also just nice for the Ganon fight too.
Yeah, it makes all those dark rooms a little bit easier, and you're gonna earn some time when you have that over not having it.
And we'll get to save a little bit of time in Palace of Darkness for not having to deal with any dark rooms in there.
Mm-hmm.
And Garrison going into his Helmasaur fight, having the Tempered Sword is very nice for this fight because once you knock off that mask with 17 hammer hits, you can just release this sword spin and then do 2 slashes, and that'll be the end of Helmasaur.
Yeah, and Kaede finishing out Desert with a Gina check, and there was nothing there.
Yep, so both these runners are up to 3 crystals now at this point. Kaede is going to check the Lake Hylia Island real quick, and then we'll see where he goes. Probably going to want to do some more dungeons at this point. Yep, going to go over to Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's gonna just change these other dungeons here. So Garrison perhaps going to Flute to 6.
Yep, we'll get his Canis Mario over here and Bombos Medallion, and yeah, basically going to be covering up the tracks. Kaede is going to save a little bit of time having the lamp in pod.
Yeah. And perhaps they're going to meet up in the Ice Palace?
Yeah, because it'll be interesting because I think for Garrison, Ice Palace is a pretty quick, no-brainer play because it's in logic for him. You have the Canis Maria, it's a crystal, you need to beat it. For Kaede, he'd have to make the decision to sequence break it, but that's a sequence break you'll see a lot when people are in this specific scenario where they're one item from go mode and it's like you can skip the flippers for this seed, so he's just going to need the hook shot, so not going to be as worried about not getting those flippers.
Yeah, with that Kano Samaria, it's a really fast, easy dungeon as well.
Yes, you really have to rethink. Back in the day when you didn't have the Kano Samaria with Icebreaker, full clearing Ice Palace was a real chore. So sequence breaking Ice Palace when you're not in go mode was not as attractive as a play. But nowadays, you can get the full clear crystal relatively quickly if you have that Kano Samaria.
Mm-hmm. I always hated ice before that, but now it's my favorite dungeon because it's so nice to doing that trick and clearing out Ice Palace really fast.
Yep, it definitely it shaves like a minute and a half off a full clear, so it's not that much quicker if you're doing a go mode, but if you can do the Ice Palace bomb jump quickly, but once you're doing a full clear, it really shines.
Yeah, so they're just doing his other dungeons here, so he's not gonna see anything new. It's all depending on where they're gonna go next.
Yeah, I think when you get into where these runners are, they both know that like they're basically they only need a few more items, and they got a good amount of dungeons they can get into. You just kind of go into your dungeons and see what you get, and then you're kind of thinking of your route. Okay, I'll do this if I find this item, or I'll just continue clearing my dungeons if not.
Yeah, it seems like a no-brainer just to clear out all dungeons that are crystal dungeons.
Yeah, one of the nice things about being in hookshot go mode here is a lot of times when you have Turtle Rock full clearable, you might want to put that off until you get the hookshot, because otherwise you're going to orphan those hookshot cave checks pretty badly. Right. But if you are in hookshot go mode, I guess there's still that little bit of a risk that you could have the hookshot be in the boots lock chest and get the boots later, but you don't have as much of a risk going up to Turtle Rock early as you normally would.
Yeah. Where is those boots gonna be hiding? I mean, a lot of times we see the boots up in GT, but especially now when desert are not boot locked.
Yep, those are completely okay to clear without the boots. No, not even logically boots locked. Just a blue rupee on that torch. And yeah, Garrison should be. It looks like he's probably going to finish his dungeon out first, and then we'll get to decide where to go after that.
Yeah, and if Garrison is gonna win this one, is off to, I think it's top 16, right?
Yep, that'll be the fourth round here is top 16.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, we're hoping for a game 3.
Yeah, you can always when in doubt, you can always root for more rando.
Yeah.
And Garrison's going to try the same Fire Rod strat that Kaede was able to use, and he has half magic, so it's going to be a little bit easier. You don't have to be quite as accurate. Did miss the one shot, but the Tempered Sword spin does the same amount of damage, so it gets a pretty quick 2-cycle there, and gets the Canis Maria. And now we'll see where Garrison likes to go. I'm thinking Ice Palace, but we'll see.
Yeah, I guess that's the smart guess.
Gonna do Agina first, though.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Especially because, like, with Garrison's position, like, the most dense locations in the overworld outside of the mountain is going to be that Zora chain. So if you full clear Ice Palace, then if you don't get the hook shot, you can do some quick Zora checks. And then if you still don't have the hook shot, well, you're kind of down to a lot of one-off checks and the mountain. So you probably it's a lot easier to go up the mountain in that case.
Yeah.
But really, the seed is going to come down a lot to where that hook shot ends up being.
We have still one item left up in Hera and the Green Pendant. Skull Woods is cleared. We know that both of items are nothing. Yeah, no one has checked Soria area yet.
Nope, we'll probably get our first checks when Garrison finished his Ice Palace of those ones. We've seen Lake Hylia Island just being a 50 rupee on both sides.
Okay, only one item. Yeah, perhaps. Chat was pointing out that we only found one item in Skullwoods.
All right, Kaede is going to go into his Helmasaur King fight here. Going to do the same 17 hammer hits, and then get to finish him off with the Tempered Sword. And getting a little bit close there, but with the Tempered Sword, and that being a pretty quick fight. Because yeah, Helmasaur can, like you saw there, he can get a bit of feisty in that last phase once the mask is off.
Yeah, I mean, see, the first item in Ice Palace is the Mirror Shield.
right, we'll see where Kaede likes to go after here. See if he also wants to go to Ice Palace out of logic for him without the flippers, or could go somewhere else.
Shooting to 8. Ooh, Ice Rod Cave. Has Garrison checked that? I don't think so.
Nope, this has just been, it's been available for a while, but neither of the runners have checked it. So even if you find something here like the boots, you're definitely going to be feeling bad because your opponent could have gotten it way earlier.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Here's 20 rupees.
Yep, no punishment for putting that off for a while.
And another item in ice was just 20 rupees.
Yep, and looks like Kaede is going to buy a potion before going wherever next. Potions are generally good for Ice Palace, but they're also pretty good for Turtle Rock, which could be on his mind. Nope, looks like Ice Palace.
No! Accidental fluting? Or, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was trying to do a sword buffer and accidentally hit the Y button.
Yeah, like Shata saying, catfish is calling. Could probably be a big item there.
Yeah, and it'll probably be a while till either of those runners get to that location, because it depends if they check the Zora area after this, because that would be a pretty orphaned location.
Yeah. Well, Garrison has the possibility in this case to do them together with a mirror and flippers.
Yeah, it's just that he might want to just jump right into the Zora's domain out of here. But if he doesn't do that, yes, absolutely, we'll probably combo those in with Catfish. But he likes to just like go to Turtle Rock, for instance, right now.
Nice room there, Kaede.
And we're getting the worst route here about Ice Palace, where the you don't get all the items, and the big key is in the iced tea room.
Yeah, that's the meanest one. And we get to see one of the maybe easiest bomb jumps in the game.
Yep, good heads-up play there. A lot of times you'll see runners just jump down there because they're so used to having the hook shot. Getting a bit bullied there by those free Zoras, which is a bit rough, though Garrison does still have his fairy.
Rough. All that work just for that map. So the last item is going to be on the boss.
Yeah, definitely going to have to be careful. It is nice to have the half magic and the Bombos Medallion here, because he does have the fairy. But even with the fairy, that's still only one more hit you can take. So you get 2 hits here from the Polterpuff, at least. You got a couple more than that if you were only getting icicle hits. So let's see how it goes here for Garrison.
I'm wondering where those upgrades is gonna be for the suit as well. We haven't seen any of the runners picking up any armor here.
Yep, they're getting the hard item pool experience for the most part so far. Even though it's not hard item pool.
Well, actually I like to do... if you're playing this mode, it's nice not to have them because you get a little more focused on the fights and everything. So I think it's going to be a little bit more sharp.
For sure. When you have green mail, you're always just a little bit more attentive than if you have red mail.
Yeah.
And we see that fairy able to come in the clutch. Garrison took the 1 hit from the icicles, but otherwise a pretty nice fight and able to collect the crystal. Not getting any items of note in Ice Palace, but you do need to get this crystal anyway.
Yeah, so that is crystal number 5.
So we'll see where Garrison, if he's going to like to jump down to the Zora area, do the waterfall check, and Zora himself. It looks like that's where he's going.
Yeah, just like you said, it's really close, so it's understandable to do this.
Yeah, and he won't actually have Catfish as orphaned as Kaede would if he did this check, because Garrison has not done Graveyard Ledge or any of those North Dark Worlds, so could combo those in. Worst comes to worst, he hasn't gone into Skullwoods either.
Yeah.
You see free blue goos from that waterfall fairy, which is very nice. Also got a fairy in a bottle, so lots of safeties from that waterfall cave there.
Still on green maze, so it wouldn't hurt to have some more safeties.
Absolutely, and Kaede is going to go into his fight here. Looks like Garrison's going to elect to skip Zora for now, maybe thinking to do it when he does Catfish. Because he doesn't want to have to walk all the way out.
Yeah, maybe.
And Kaede did a great job there on that Cold Steer fight. Got them up in the corner, get them, then slashed away at them and shot them with a fire rod. Killed them really quickly. Didn't even have to use that blue potion. So very nice fight there. And it looks like Garrison is going to go up to the mountain. We can get Ether Tablet on the way as well, and then go over to the Dark Death Mountain side. See if we can get into Turtle Rock. If we can, probably clear that out. Otherwise, just do the Super Bunny cave location.
Yeah, and I think none of the runners have checked the Bombo's tablet, right?
Nope, there's never really been a good opportunity for them to check it because they'll probably will only check that once they decide to make the play to find the hook shot in its vanilla location if Swamp Palace.
Yeah. Well, Kaede had it, I think, a possibility to do it at least after getting those mitts from Hive Cave.
Yeah, because he did get the book right away, but it's a bit out of the way if you're planning to go to Village of Outcasts. And we saw the cape over there. We know that's not going to be needed for anything because we've seen Bumper Ledge, but Garrison has not seen that yet, so it might play into his mind. And we're seeing Kaede make the same play with these Zora checks out of logic. We'll see if he goes all the way up to the big fish himself.
Yeah, and if this is something big, that could hurt Garrison a lot here.
And we'll get to get our first look at the Turtle Rock Medallion. We'll see if we can go in and clear this dungeon or not.
Ooh, we can.
Yep, we'll see if he elects to go check, do a quick Super Bunny Cave check to see if he's in go mode first, or you could just go right in. Because go mode Turtle Rock isn't really that much of a time save, though the hookshot itself would save a little bit of time in Turtle Rock, so it would be a not insubstantial time save, but it's also not incredibly likely that the hookshot's in one of those two chests.
Yeah, but after clearing out Turtle Rock here, it could potentially be something on Pyramid Fairy. And that would be also a nice sync up with the Pyramid and Catfish check. Ooh, hook shot!
Yeah, so that's go mode there for Garrison, pending the 1 in 22 big key on the torch. So 57 minutes in, you get to go mode.
Wow, sub 1 hour go mode.
And it looks like Kaede is going to go over to the Smith chain and get his flippers, but going to have to get up that Turtle Rock pretty quickly if he wants to stay competitive here. Because Garrison did not do purple chest, and we'll see really how much of this Smith chain, if the flippers change Kaede's decision at all, or if he elects, because you could go all the way to Bombo's tablet on this chain.
Yeah, but perhaps it's just gonna be a mirror over and flute to 6 or to 7, just to turn it in a bit faster. But the more time he spends here, the more time he's gonna be behind Garrison.
Yeah, because skipping the Smith chain was really the best location where Kaede could save some time on Garrison. Because like for most of the run, it had been the case that Kaede had done the North Dark World checks like Graveyard Ledge and Bumper Ledge, whereas Garrison did that Smith chain on the way into Village of Outcasts. But with every check here, that advantage is fading.
Yeah.
So if you find the boots in the purple chest, maybe that could help make up some time.
That could be used, yeah. Taking the dark portal here as well, just to check that tablet.
And Garrison making his way through Turtle Rock, stole that key from the lava chest, and going to be heading on over by the big key door. Probably going to skip the big key chest in Mimic Cave here since he is in go mode. Not going to worry about potentially a Silver Arrows or Fourth Sword. Those checks are just not, they're too out of the way. Not purple chest, not paying out there for a Kaede. Gonna check this Bombos tablet, and then we'll have to see where he likes to go after this.
Yeah, I'm guessing he was hoping to get the hook shot down here, just so he can full clear the mountain once he's up there. But yeah, let's see where it goes from here. Oh, is this gonna be a swamp dip?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Which that probably not gonna be good unless we get the boots in here and we are in the 1 in 22 situation. Gonna have to pull the dam first, though.
Well, that could have been a really good play, and it could still be, of course, if it's gonna be the boots in here, and the boots is gonna be required.
Yep, and we'll see. I think there's technically still a chance that Garrison could not get a key here and have to go down back to the big chest, but most of the time, 96%, that you will get a key on Laser Bridge when you're in the situation he's in. That Mirror Shield playing dividends too here. And there's our key.
Yeah. I've seen it like once, I think, when it wasn't a small key on the on Laser Bridge. And yeah, the both players didn't do any. They go modded Turtle Rock, so they had to do the whole thing over again.
Yeah, it's really a safe skip to skip when you get the big key in the front, and then you can steal the key from the pokey going to the lava chest, and then 96% of the time there's a key. There's enough keys for you to finish. And in that 4% chime where you get punished, your opponent probably skipped it too, so you don't even feel that bad. And we'll see Garrison going into his Trinex fight with having the Tempered Sword here really, really nice because you're able to dispatch the heads really quickly. Unfortunately, the Ice Head did get to spray some ice, which makes this a little bit more difficult, though he still has that fairy and blue potion. So not really a risk of dying, but you prefer to save that fairy.
Yeah, it's good to have for that climb in GT. But we have to go down to Meyer and clear that out as well. So I'm guessing after that maybe he can stock up on some more potions before going up to GT.
Yeah, should one of the safeties that he has go away, you might want to pick up some more.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Kaede here, it's gonna be the rough check in Swamp, having to do the left side, the slow way.
Yeah, and you're really seeing this. Just this route was the runners were making the same decisions most of the route, but when Garrison made the decision to go to Hype Cave first and got his Titan, it really kind of set up the route that he has here. Because when he was by Swamp Palace and had access to it, he just had so much other stuff that he could do. It wasn't really that attractive of a play, and just had these crystal dungeons. Whereas Kaede had he was already on his route getting those flippers because he already beat Ice Palace out of logic, so it was a more tempting play to go in here for him.
Yeah.
And Garrison, that Murderdactyl claiming another victim in Misery Mire, having the fairy here, but you're not feeling too good when that happens. Definitely want to knock out that burn there, because when you're using Quake Medallion, the bird can still hit you once you're right after you're done casting it. So good to at least get revenge there on it.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we get a nice Go Mode Misery Mire or a mean Go Mode Misery Mire. If that big key is in one of the first 2 chests, then Misery Mire and Go Mode's not that bad. But if it's in the cutscene chest, then it's just about as bad as it normally is.
He can't do the diver down because he don't have the hook shot. So he can't take the key for the back that we need to use the diver down.
Yeah, you can't do left side diver down. You have to get that. You can still use it to save a little bit of time. If you're very good at diver down, you can do the same strategy with the bomb and use that to activate the pegs. But you have to pretty much get it first try, or else you're not going to save any time. But you can still do the backside diver down just fine, but not the left side.
Yeah, but we have no way to go into the back. Well, maybe if we got the boots, we can hover there.
Yeah, that's a good point, not having the hook shot. We also saw the silver arrows there in that first chest of mire, so you'd like to get the big key, but silver arrows are okay to get in the first chest as well.
Yeah, it's really good for this fight as well on Vite.
Yeah, it's really one of the best places they could get it. You'll have it for the Ganon fight and the Vinti fight, which are the 2 fights that really benefit most from it.
Yeah, and Swab had nothing.
Yeah, Kaede is definitely going to be feeling not too great about that, because definitely he knows that it's not a decision. It's not like an automatic decision to go into Swamp there with the mountain being available. Looks like he's going to walk up to Pyramid Ledge and Catfish, just wanting to make sure that he has enough stuff when he decides to make that trip up the mountain, because every mountain trip you take is quite the investment. And still no big key in Misery Mire.
Yeah, and a smart check here from Kaede checking Hobo.
Yeah, but it's really nice though when you can route in the Hobo using the mirror like that. Getting the shovel. And having Garrison having to go through the cutscene chest. We'll see if the big key is in here. And we got our second item from Misery Mire, but not the big key, just getting an empty bottle. So one thing to note about Misery Mire, if you see there's a small key in that compass chest, the one where you have to light the torches to get to it with the tiles, then the big key has to be in the compass room. Or not the compass room, the cutscene room.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case here because there was no key. And there's our big key, which is nice. Don't have to go over to the map chest to get it, but not the nicest spot for the key.
Yeah, especially when you're done the cutscene room, it's gonna be feeling a little bit bad not checking that first.
And we'll get to see our first look at Catfish. Kaede is gonna have to be a little bit careful down when you're down. Whenever you're down to 2 hearts in the light or the dark world, gotta be careful. But hopefully we'll make it up to the Catfish.
Ooh, does he have a fairy?
All right, he still has that fairy from
nice.
Waterfall Cave. Fairies are coming in clutch this game. Both runners have used 2 fairies.
Yeah, that's a rough spot to die otherwise. So will this be the boots?
Maybe.
Okay, so we both got the mushroom there and the shovel.
Yep, just bunch of fetch quests. Looks like we're doing shovel first. We'll see if he even elects to do fake powder as well, which would be a bit of a time investment. But at this point, I feel like you're committed to not going up the mountain. Once Kaede elected to dip swamp instead of go up the mountain, I think he's just leaning into that decision because he's figuring, okay, if my opponent made the other decision and went up the mountain and was rewarded, then I'm in trouble. So I may as well double down on the decision I've already made. And Garrison able to take care of Vitreous with the silver arrows there. Got a little bit close with going down to 2 hearts, but was able to close it out and get a pretty nice quick fight.
Yeah, and you had the right guess here. It's gonna be a fake powder here.
And so we've got 7 crystals on Garrison's side. So we normally like to play a game here where there's 22 checks in Ganon's Tower, where the big key can be. So get your guesses in chat as to where you think that big key will be. I personally like to guess key location number 14. How about you, Swedish Arctic Fox?
I'm gonna say 3. Come on, Torch.
Yeah, whenever you go in there with no boots, you'll see lots of 1s and 3s in chat.
And that's also a really nervous thing as a runner, going in there knowing that it could be on the Torch.
Yeah, and then you're basically, because at this point, there's not that much left in the game from Garrison's point of view. He's got all of Swamp for sure, and then a bunch of scattered one-offs. But you're really hoping that it just ends up being in GT if the boots happen to be required to see.
Mm-hmm. And Catfish and Mushroom is giving us 20 rupees.
Yeah, nothing for except we got the blue mail from that one fetch quest, but otherwise really nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is actually gonna be Garrison's race to lose here, I think.
Yeah, I would really need that. Anything short of big key on Torch and then the big key being outside of Ganon's Tower, I think Kaede is gonna need a lot of some sort of catastrophe to come back.
Mm-hmm. I'm guessing Garrison's gonna check some checks here, hoping to get those boots.
Yeah, I could find another sword or an armor upgrade to make this climb a little bit safer.
Yeah.
That's one of the big differences between hard item pool and normal item pool. Like, if you're in hard item pool with Garrison's loadout, obviously you wouldn't have the silvers, but you wouldn't be really checking anything because you could only get like 2 more hearts and really nothing else to help. But when in the normal item pool, like getting a mail upgrade or something could be really helpful. All right, so Garrison is going into Ganon's Tower, so the bets will be closing. So you got about a second left before you're going to have to put your bets in.
Yeah, let's see where it goes first. Maybe Hope Room? No.
Yeah, looks like he's gonna wants to know his fate right now, if he's in go mode or not. We'll see. And it's a small key, so logically the boots are required, but no one ever uses all the GT small keys like that.
Yeah, just like the key between Hope Room and that room. That door is never used, so...
Yep, so we see check number 2 is 20 rupees, check number 3 is 300 rupees, check number 4 is the Ether Medallion, and check number 5 is a small key. All right, we'll see checks number 6 and 7 over here in Hope Room. Number 6 is another small key, and number 7 is the map. So you get to see just how deep that big key is today.
What was your guess again?
I guess number 14.
Okay.
Because if there's either a key in the compass room the Hope Room, or they do this route where they mirror from the Star Alphas room, the 14th will be in the randomizer room. And Kaede able to get that hook shot, now is in his go mode as well.
Yeah, that's about 15 minutes after, I think.
Yep, right around there. And we really don't know. I feel like if you're a Kaede's position, you're feeling behind because of the swamp dip. But you don't know if you're that far behind because your opponent could have made a similar play, and you still got a pretty good time going on the seed. But we know Garrison just happened to make a little bit of what ended up being the more correct decisions for the seed.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with Randy. You never know where the item's gonna be.
Yep, and we just saw checks all the way up through 11 and saw no big key yet. So we'll be seeing check number 12 in the fire bar room, and that will see if that's the big key or not.
Yeah, so number 14 is looking kinda good.
And just 10 arrows there in the fire bar room.
Can this seed be so evil so it's gonna be an Untitled room?
Yeah, you never know.
I mean, a lot of the times where you have like a lot of items early, I think more than often the big key is gonna be in that tile room.
Yeah, it just feels like when the seed's being nice to you and gives you a seed where you can get Dark World X's early, Tempered Sword early, then it just wants to put the big key deep in the NGT.
It must do something.
Yep, so we saw check number 13. We're coming up on 14, 15, 16, and 17 right here in the randomizer room. 14 is a piece of a heart, 15 is a red rupee, 16 is a blue rupee, and 17 is a red rupee. So off over to Bob's chest and Ice Armos. So having those silver arrows will be really nice if we do have to fight the Ice Armors today. Kaede taking an unfortunate death there in Turtle Rock and does not have that fairy, so going to have to start back from the front of Turtle Rock.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we'll be coming up on Bob's chest over here on Garrison's side. Gonna have to do the bomb jump here, not having the boots. This is a one-tile bomb jump, so it looks kind of crazy doing a bomb jump here from one invisible floor to another, but luckily the one-tile gap makes it a lot easier than it would be if that was, say, a two-tile gap that you had to do fully invisible.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 10 arrows, which I think that might be vanilla right there.
Yeah, I think so too, yeah.
We'll go into Ice Armos here for checks 19, 20, and 21. Definitely taking advantage of those silver arrows there. All right, so chest number 19 is the single arrow, 20 is the big key, and 21's our gold sword. So yeah, always check that 21st check if you get it in 20, unless you already have everything you need.
Yeah, where are those boots?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, at this point, back of Swamp Palace could be where they are, could be on the pedestal. Yeah, there's Greed Pendant, second item of Hera. Or it could be up in the top of GT or GT Big Chest.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Tile Room, as Chaz pointing out.
Yeah, Tile Room.
And looks like no one in chat guessed 20, so the people who were guessing Tile Room get rewarded. So at this point, it's all execution. And with the green mail, even though you've got the silvers and the buttered sword, it can still be a bit difficult on this climb, just because if you get some of those rooms, if you get shot by a BMOS, you can get really off schedule, and it's hard to get back into a groove without the boot. So definitely going to have to see some nice execution here from Garrison. Going to take advantage of that half magic, use the fire rod as much as he wants here.
Yeah, some nice execution there.
Yeah, because doesn't even have to worry about saving fire rod shots for land moles, has the silver arrows and can just one-shot those land moles with the silvers. Yeah, doing a really nice job here.
Yeah, and meanwhile we see Kaede just finishing up Turtle Rock.
And it can be a bit hard to hit those land moles with the silver arrows here if you don't, if you're not used to it. So Garrison electing to switch to the gold sword and fire rod in the second cycle and able to get rid of them pretty quickly after that. And meanwhile, we're going to see Trinex fight over on Kaede's side. Has a decent amount of health, so just needs to be a little bit careful and should be able to get this fight.
Yeah, nicely done there.
All right, gets a nice quick kill on the middle head for Trinex, and we'll now Kaede just needs to beat Misery Mire, and they can climb up to the GT. And meanwhile, Garrison is making his way almost to the top of the gauntlet. Gonna try to go up here real quick, not get the despawn glitch, and doesn't get it, so very good. Gonna have to collect one of these Helmosaur keys. Doesn't have to worry about any chests, but you only having one key, you need to get one from the Helmosaurs.
Yeah, skipping out on all those chests there. Don't need the boots in this round.
Yep, at this point, it would basically just be looking for like a mail upgrade or something, because you already got Gold Sword and the Silver Arrow, so offensively, you're just fine for Ganon.
I'm guessing it's gonna check this loss. No, he's skipping out on that too. Yeah, half magic is nice as well, of course, to have here on the Ganon fight.
All right, so Garrison's going to go into his Aghanim 2 fight. We'll see if Aghanim's going to give us nice patterns today and be a quick fight, or if he's going to be difficult.
I think that was a double.
Yep, looks like starting off with a double, getting a bit off balance, and then getting a blue ball there. And they're a bit out of sync like they are. It can be a bit annoying, because that first Kaga clone is shooting really early. It just needs one more hit. All right, so Garrison's on to his Ganon fight. And with the Gold Sword, the main difference between the Gold Sword and the Tempered Sword here is it's much easier to get the single cycle on Phase 1 and 2 here with that Gold Sword, just needing the 6 slashes instead of 12 slashes.
It's a really nice fast fight here with the Gold Sword and Silvers.
Yep, so already got the six swipes in Phase 1. Already got on his way to getting the 6 in Phase 2, and there we go. So just gonna need to get through Phase 3 and 4 now. A little bit low on health, gonna have to be careful. I don't think he has any fairies left. Does still have a potion, which probably will drink now. Yeah, better safe than sorry.
Yeah, well, the hard part is over. I guess he's not gonna take that much more damage now.
Yeah, sometimes you'll wait and use like the cape to waste your magic if you're doing a silverless fight, but with the silvers here, like you're not gonna really worry about magic with half magic. Even if you don't get the torch glitch, you're fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gets the really quick. Gets the really quick hit there, which is nice. Misses the torch glitch, but like I said, not as big of a deal when you have the silvers. So we're just going to need 2 more silver shots here. Looks like he's going to let Ganon come to the top of the screen first. Let's see if he doesn't set up the double. Just going to get the 1 shot. And this should be the last shot. So down goes Ganon. All Garrison's got to do is cross this bridge, and he will be the winner and advance to the 4th round top 16 of this tournament. So get your GGs in chat for Garrison.
Yeah, GG, and we're gonna get the runners into chat after this to get some comments on the race.
Yep, WGarrison finished with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 54 seconds. All right, so we've got both of our runners here in chat. GGs to both of you, and congratulations, WGarrison, on your victory.
Thank you. GG.
GG's Garrison. Well played, well played.
Did you guys have any first thoughts here on this seed?
More bootless!
This is ridiculous. I mean, it happened the same at the end. Last item for Go mode, both on Turtle Rock. The 2 games, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, that's true. Our Go mode was in exactly the same chest. Different item. We had Mirror in the same chest for Go mode last seed. And both seeds completely bootless. With this one missing hook shot and that being the entrance into Mire, like, I didn't want to see boots. I just wanted the hook shot to be my entry into Mire.
Yeah, I was hoping for a boot or something, but my gambles went really bad. So, anyways, I really deserve win for you. So, GG's.
Yeah, it was actually quite interesting. It was quite interesting for you guys. You both did basically the same things for the first about half hour of the seed, even like down to skipping Ice Rod Cave or doing Sick Kid early. The main divergence was Garrison, you did the Hype Cave first and got your Titan's Mitts, whereas Kaede, you did the Village of Outcasts, and that kind of really set the stage for the rest of the run.
This is interesting because Village of Outcasts, I don't know how many times has happened in both tournaments, main and Challenge Cup, but it's always really empty. Both Thieves Town and Village of Outcasts. I don't know what happened with Sahabot, but it happens in every single seat. I don't know. It's always empty.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my main mistake is obviously not rushing Turtle Rock, not even checking it. So it was a mistake by my side. So I think the road bus was okay. I don't think it was bad, but I don't know. I decided to gamble on Swamp Palace. It went wrong. That's it. I felt a little bit behind. That's why I entered.
Yeah, but well, sometimes you're gonna do like checks like that, and sometimes they pay out, and sometimes they don't. And unfortunately, this time it was the wrong choice.
Yeah. I mean, this is random, so
yeah,
that's it.
So I'm a big fan of hitting Hype Cave really early into Dark World. A lot of times there's nothing in it, but any of the 5 or more item caves, I am just drawn to them because every once in a while you still hit something in there. They're still more likely than most other places. With Flute, my plan was to hit Hype Cave up to Dig Game and then mirror and then flew over to Pod. But as soon as I hit Mitts, I'm like, I'll just continue up and get into Thieves Town. Given that after Mitts, basically everything else was in dungeons, I actually was afraid when I was going into GT that I had cleared the overworld, and that could get me, because I did a lot of overworld checks that just didn't do much of anything after getting Mitts.
Yeah, so it was really good to rush Hype Cave in this seed. Having Mirror and Flood, it was a really good choice. Yeah.
I just don't like leaving it for too long. Like, even in seeds where you have Mitts entry or Aga entry, a lot of my routing is about getting around to Hype Cave in an efficient way.
Yeah, because once you got those mitts, it was really just you. I mean, you technically had to get the flippers from Hammer Pegs, but otherwise, you just got your items from the dungeons, really.
I think what was left was Kane on land molas and hookshot in the front of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and I guess technically the Bombos Medallion too.
Where was that? I don't even remember at this point.
That was on Desert
Spectacle
Ledge.
Rock Cave. Spectacle Rock Cave, I think.
No, it's Desert Ledge.
Okay.
Rock Cave was Moon Pearl.
Yeah, that's something that you're going to see going in the desert. And unless you did what I did in a practice seed and completely missed Hammer on Desert Ledge forever.
Oh.
I can't even remember where was that item, so imagine.
All right, well, again, good games to you guys. Do you have anything you want to say before we close out over here?
Yeah, I want to thank you for the stream and Garrison for playing. It was really interesting. Unfortunate that it was a 2-0, but I'm happy with the result. I mean, it's my first tournament. I started playing last year on October, so
Nice.
it's fine for now.
Yeah, and top 32 is really nice. And yeah, GG, WGarrison, you're gonna go up to Worldwide Wimpy in the next round.
Oh, is that game's done already, I guess, and
Yep.
he took it from Ricky?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's gonna be a battle for sure. He was my mentor in one of the rounds for Season 2 Mentor Tournament last year.
Oh, wow.
And I'm actually really interested in seeing how that matchup goes, because he's really interesting when it comes to routing. He routes the game completely differently than anybody else, and that'll be a wild matchup.
All right, well, thanks again for putting on a show today, guys. Definitely give these runners a follow. They did a great race for us today. Good to see them when they're doing ladder races and other races. Also, make sure to follow the Zelda Speedruns channels so you can get other tournaments like this. Also, other Zelda games like this, you'll see speedruns or randomizers for. Also, shout-outs to my co-commentator, Swedish Arctic Fox. Did a great job here in the booth with me. And shout-outs to our trackers, Professor Pixie and Pi.
Yep, thank you to all of our volunteers, to both of our runners. Sad to see you go, Kaede, and good luck in your next round match, WGarrison.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So as mentioned, we have a fair few things going on ZSR. We have tomorrow. We actually have 6 matches going on. The combination of the Wind Waker Randomizer Season 4 Tournament Round 1 matches, which just started up. So there's 3 of those tomorrow and 3 Challenge Cup matches. So, looking at the schedule, we have, starting off the day at 3 p.m. Eastern here on ZSR Main, we will have the Wind Waker Randomizer, the Wind Waker match between Sir Kilp and Shizuka. For 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, we have CC match on ZSR2 between Tracespire and Zen Arcane. 5 p.m. Eastern, another Wind Waker match between Gobbly Bobbity and Symphonic Link, that'll be on ZSR3. 7 p.m. Eastern, another Wind Waker match between Neef and Zombie God on ZSR2. 8:10 p.m. Eastern, we've got Koval vs. Mystic on ZSR main. And at 10:40 p.m. Eastern, we have a CC match between Slowpoke and Yuki Kaze. And I also forgot to mention that tonight here on this channel, at 10 p.m. Eastern, we will, in about 2 hours, we will have the Zelda 2 Randomizer weekly race. Here as well if you want to catch up on even more Zelda action. Quite a busy week for us. We've got a lot of stuff going. We've got ALTTPR, we've got the Wind Waker Randomizer, we've got our regular weeklies. We've got the the Ocarina of Time Randomizer multi-world tournament. We've got the Twilight Princess Grand Finals coming up in the weekend as well. So plenty going on. Keep us, follow us, and follow us all here at ZeldaSpeedRuns and our volunteers to get more Zelda action. But that will be it for us for now. We are going to go over and raid Sinate, who is doing a Link to the Past, the Zelda Super Metroid Combo Randomizer Multi-World. So we'll go over and see how they're doing. And thanks for watching, everyone.